There's no husband. So it kind of let me like, would this be an innkeeper in such a situation? And in those days, you should have been married to have kids. So here we go. So I'm like, I'm settling on the prostitute, as well as there could be a prostitute owning an inn that activities happened. Do anybody has any other suggestion about that? Okay, let's carry on. So here now, verse 17, and one woman said, Oh Lord, here comes the trouble now. Here now we are taking the issue before Solomon. The two prostitutes came to the king and stood before him. I just want to say to you that it's good to be humble regardless of your position. I don't know how many of us would want to be in the company of two prostitutes. How many of us? Because we might be thinking that we're better than them, but sometimes we have to really listen situation. So the case was brought before Solomon. The one woman said, Oh my Lord, this woman and I live in the same house, and I gave birth to a child while she was in the house. So you know they are familiar with each other. Then one then on the third day after I gave birth, this woman also gave birth. I wonder if you see where this is heading. So two of them gave birth almost the same time. And we were alone. So now the fact that you see that to say that this, and it says that there was no one else with us in the house. Only we two were in the house. They had the birth of the child happened. But who delivered the child? The both children, who delivered? Verse 19, and this woman child died at night. I was listening to this case and I'm like, did anybody ever wonder how did she knew all of this? It says that whether the same night following the day it was born, it is not certain. What because she overlaid it. Because she overlaid it. So laid upon it, being heavy through sleep. So she was sleeping and obviously have the baby in probably beside her in her bosom somewhere. And not knowing what she did, she turned herself upon it and smothered it because it had no previous illness that we read about, or any marks or any disease. It could be that the fact that is at full rest. So both women had male. It was evident that it wasn't a male or a female baby. It was a male baby. Both had male babies. So the one whose child died during the night is being accused now of swapping babies during this middle of the night. I just want to ask if you have ever been accused of something and you're trying to, you know in your heart that I'm not guilty, but the way the plan is being put ahead, it feels so real to others out there, and prove your case that, listen, this plan is false. Have you ever been accused? I'm happy that we have good Christians in the house and good listeners. Thank you very much.
Evangelist, what you do?
Huh?
What did you do?
What did I do? Somebody have a plan?
Yeah.
Before, I normally tell people I don't drink my soup when it's hot.
Oh yeah, petty them way there.
I wait till my soup is cold. So when you think that all is at rest, then I strike. I don't know if you call it petty or if if I call it defending my rights. But right here now, we saw where this woman, she was thinking ahead of time. And the reality is that sometimes people hurt us or tell lies on us, and we try to defend ourselves and we end up making situation worse. Because we end up sin in the process. And now we are probably moving further from grace than which we would like to be. The best thing in life is, I know that people might say it hard, but you see, forgiveness is a powerful thing. We have to learn how to forgive. And you have to learn how to forgive somebody and love them in the process, even regardless of what they have done to you. And take it from me. For me, that never come overnight. It did take some time. But the reality is that when you truly want to live for Christ and you want to be sold out for Christ, we just have to sometimes, the care how hard it to be, forget these things that will cause us to lose our way or to lose our seat in heaven. I'm asking the question, did anybody see anything fishy? Because I know we have read the story already. Did you see anything fishy to know that somebody is asleep, but she could detail the plan of what happened to the baby? What you think, Shaquille?
Um, the who detail the woman detail the plan.
Remember, you know, the plaintiff won because the case where she brought the case because she's going to talk about that is her child. She's asleep, right? Fast asleep, and she could tell that it was during XYZ time. She came over, she took her baby, switched the baby, put the baby in her bosom, and then she went back to sleep. So I'm saying, how all that happened without you even feeling anything. And I thought they said mothers are always close to their children so that they have this motherly instinct.
right? They
Yeah,
both
they
had
do.
their babies. Each of them knew all right now. So I know that definitely on a whole, a, a woman, even though they might have delivered themselves, it's a possible chance that even though it's 3 days apart, right? Because sometimes complications do happen. And it's possible that one of them might have died during childbirth. Because no, sometimes it's not like no when doctors are here to tend to you. They were tending to themselves, and sometimes they don't even know what really happening. So they have the child and then feel to the child, all right, but sooner after that, the baby might have died. So I guess 3 days after, and then no, she now because ism ways, wicked cruel self, she decides, even though it's possible that she might have slept on the baby because yeah, we do sleep dead, not away. And some people them sleep lighter than boring and them fast asleep. And it has happened in this generation where people have had crib death. They call it crib death, where you sleep on the baby and the baby died. That do happen in this generation now. And it's possible that it happened in that time too, or the baby died after during childbirth. So one out of the two of that must have happened, and she don't care what is
Wonder.
gonna happen, but she have to have a baby. So she don't know said the lady baby is over there, so she must have waited until the darkest night when the woman fast asleep. And the woman must sleep dead as we say, and then she go take time the baby asleep enough. So baby asleep, them asleep, so she take her dead baby and go give the woman and take up the woman baby fast asleep, because when baby are small then they can't tell the difference of if one brown and one black or whatever, color. We do sleep on our babies and kill them. That is true. It does happen. And then we do, some of us are devious enough to tease people picnic. And that is what, that's all the things that happen because we still are tease picnic in this generation. You know?
No, so in the next 22 verse, it says that, but the other woman said, no, the living child is mine, and the dead child is yours. The first one said, no, the dead child is yours, and the living child is mine. Thus they spoke before the king. So here they go start arguing now in front of the king. The child is mine. No, the child is yours. The child is mine. You're putting us in such a tight position, tight spot. What are you gonna do? You're the king. Everybody is looking at you for the decision to make is gonna govern the rest of your life. This one decision that you make will change who you are. And there we know that Solomon has to be very careful. Earthly wisdom is not going to play a factor here because he made the wrong decision. And let me tell you, when we focus too much on earthly wisdom, then we end up in situations that we should not have end up in. Because now we start to focus on earthly wisdom, earthly knowledge, earthly understanding, and we leave the true understanding that should come from God, our Savior and our guide. We need to learn how to stay focused on God and what He has to offer us. So here we go again. So Solomon is put in a predicament. What do you do when you're put in a predicament? If you have to choose between God or Baal or the devil, what is it? What do you do when you put in that predicament? Do you just throw in the towel?